In this video clip, we want to talk about graph of logarithm functions. First one is f of x equals log base 2 to the x. Recall in my e-notes, there is an animation for this function y equals log base 2 to the x. We know that here is x on this row. The second row is log base 2 to the x. You may refer to other lectures about the third row. Okay, the base is different, it's 1/2. So we will talk about log base 2 to the x. We know when you plug in 8 into this place, you then have a log base 2 to the 8. Basically, it's right here. When you plug in 8 here, you should have value y is 3. So 8, 3, that's this point. See, here is 8, and y is 3. Why is that? You know, is because, again, logarithm is an exponent of the same base 2. So 2 to the 3, or 2 cubed, is 8. Okay, that's why you have a 1x is 8 here, you plug in here. Okay, and you should have a what? Value y is 3. So 8, 3 is correct. When you plug in 1/8, you should have a negative 3. Again, the reason is right here. When you plug in 1/8, you should have a negative 3. Again, negative 3 is the exponent of this 2. Okay, so you see 2 to the exponent negative 3 is 1/2 1/2, and here is cubed. Let me erase this one. Write cube clearly. Here. One more time. Let me put 3 here. Okay, this is the way to delete this negative sign. Okay, then we have a 1/2 cubed is 1/8. So that's how we have a, when you plug in 1/8 here, you should have negative 3. So 1/8 is here, then you have a negative 3. So you see 1/8 negative 3. That's this point. Okay, the rest of them follow the same pattern. You see 1/4, you have a negative 2. You do the same thing. Okay, now keep going. You can play with that. You have a graph like this until this place. By the way, when you plug in 1, you should have a 0. Because, you know, again here, if you input 1 here, you should have a 0. If you want me to record it, I can do that. Say log base 2 to the 1 is 0. Why? Because again here is exponent. exponent of 2. Base is the base. Anything to the 0 is 1. Okay, that's why you have any value log any base to the 1, you always get 0. Log base 5 to the 1, 0. Log base 10 to the 1, 0. Okay, so for the logarithm function, every logarithm function has the picture will go through this 1, 0. Okay, it's like every exponent function, it goes to 0, 1. Alright, so you can see this animation. Okay, now we are clear about y equals log base 2 to the x. That's this one. Okay, now let's look at the second one. Second one is negative log base 2 to the x. Again, if you plug in one value here, log base 2 to the 1, that's 0. You have a negative, so negative 0 is still 0. The thing is that if you plug in 2 here, then you have a log base 2 to the 2 is 1. You have a negative in front of it, so negative 1. So then 2, negative 1 is on the picture. X is 2, y is negative 1. And basically the graph is flipped based on the x-axis. This is when the negative sign is in front of log. You know, how about log base 2 to the negative x? We were told this quantity has to be positive. How could you put negative sign right here? Well, consider you have a negative x needs to be greater than 0. So this place needs to be greater than 0. If you multiply it by negative 1 on both sides, you're going to switch the direction for the inequality. So you will have what? You will have a negative 1 times negative x is just x. And then 0 times negative 1 is 0. So you have what? Your x is less than 0. So you got to choose all the negative values. Okay? For example, you may plug in negative 1 here. Negative is positive. So then you have a log base 2 to the 1 is 0. So basically it's this point. That means this graph is flipped based on the y-axis. This picture is flipped based on the x-axis. See that? Okay. Now, how about negative? Then you first do is look at this picture, and then it flipped to the left based on y-axis. And then for every value you got here, you got to choose negative. So that will be this picture. You flipped based on the first on the y, then based on the x. And here is the example. You plug in negative 2 here, no positive. Then negative 2 will be positive 2 here. Will be positive 2. And then base 2 to the 2 is 1. And you have a negative in front of it. So then you will have a 1x is negative 2, now the y is 1. Okay, negative 2, -1. Okay, that's the example. Alright, now how about function x minus 2? X minus 2, you want to compare with the original. Originally, in order to get 1, 0 here, when you plug in 1, log base 2 to the 1 is 0. So 1, 0 is on the graph. Now, in order to get 0 here, you need this place be 1. In order to have this place be 1, x minus 2 be 1, x needs to be 3. So you plug in 1, 3 minus 2, you plug in 3. 3 minus 2 is 1, and then log base 2 to the 1 is 0. So 3, 0 is on the picture. Previously is 1, 0, this one. Now you have a 3, 0. So then basically from 1 to 3 you shift what? 2 units to the right. So 1 here is 2 minus 2. You got 2 units to the right. This one is without bracket here. This one is with bracket. And you first do the logarithm with this one, with this whole quantity first. Okay. Okay. And then choose negative. So it's like this picture. Okay. So you have a negative here. And then you do for each value, you subtract 2 for y. For this whole quantity. So then basically you can see here is the example. Previously 1, 0. 1, 0. You plug in 1 here, log base 2 to the 1 is 0, negative 0 is 0. You have a 1, 0 right here. Now where does this point go? This point goes to where? What you want to do is you plug in 1 here, okay? Then you have a log base 2 to the 1, which is 0. Negative 0 is still 0, so you have a minus 2, you have a negative 2. So when you plug in 1 here, you have a negative 2. So 1, negative 2. So this point, 1x is 1. You have a point right here. So then this point goes to from 1, 0 to 1, negative 2. So then that's 2 units down. Negative direction. Here is different. You see here is minus 2 goes to y direction into the negative direction. And here minus 2x goes to the horizontal direction, shifted to the positive. Be careful. Minus 2 shifted to the right, positive direction, horizontal way. Horizontal direction. Minus 2 negative direction on the y. Okay, then 2 units down. Because you did this operation first. Flip the picture, there is a negative based on that. And then every value here you get for y previously, you have to subtract 2. Here is, by the way, if you have a plus 2, then that will be 2 units up. The shape will be the same, like that, decreasing, but it's 2 units down. So 2 units up for plus. Okay, that will be up in this way. Okay, finally is about inverse function. What's the meaning for inverse function? If you go from 8 to find 3, inverse function will be 3 to 8. Okay, that's it. Okay, now look at this picture. We already know log base 2 to the x which is this one. We did at the very beginning. Now you got to do, if here is 8, 3, you plug in 8 here, plug in 8 here, and then you got 3, so 8, 3. So this is the picture. Then you plug in 3 here, y cubed, it's like y cubed, you get 8. So then you see 8, 3, 3, 8, which is symmetric with y equals x, this picture. Okay, so this is the original one, and then this will be the inverse of this function. Okay, so please review this lecture. I'll see you next time.